Yo, let's get it. Come on. Web3. I know it says Web3 Breakfast at some point. I guess it was a little bit longer than I thought this track was, but GM fam, hope you are doing all right. I know it's going to come to an end there in a second, but anyway, guys, GM, thank you so much for joining. This is Web3 Breakfast. We only come to you right now on Friday mornings because it is a special day. It is pizza day. Also, it is the week in review, and we got a lot of things to chat about today. I had put out a tweet a little bit earlier this morning letting you guys know what exactly we were planning on talking about today. And so I took basically the headline story, or at least the funnier one possibly, of each day throughout the week from the live stream. And so Monday, we talked about the XRP custody wallet. I want to talk about that. Tuesday, we talked about Trump wanting to stack Bitcoin. Massive news for the future of not only Bitcoin, but crypto, especially here in the United States. As we heard yesterday from the Digital Asset Summit in New York, he's doubling down on this. Like, we're moving forward. We don't really have more details yet, other than they are more touch points for people. First exposure, right? He was now the first sitting president to address a crypto conference right now. We know that he was in Nashville, but he wasn't the president at that point. So big news out of the Trump camp there for Bitcoin and crypto. Wednesday, we talked about EOS rebranding to Volta Bank. What is this all about? We got to learn more. And then yesterday, this was not even one of the headlines that I had brought up, but was brought to my attention about Crypto.com wanting to unburn, listen to this. Now listen to me here. Unburn 70% of the Crow supply. Unburn it, not unlock it or whatever. Unburn it. That goes against the absolute ethos of everything that is crypto. You can't roll that kind of shit back. That's like a Frank from degens kind of move. We don't do that. Rollbacks like that is insanity. So definitely going to get into that. And then for today, really we could figure out if there's any massive stories, or, just take a look at the markets and see how they're reacting. I know if we were to look over at CoinMarketCap really quick today, things are down again. But it's kind of what we expect. We've been looking at charts all throughout the week, not only on my show at 4, but on AJ's at 10:30. And when we look at these things over and over, and we look at these things day in, day out, and you guys too, like the writings on the wall where it looks like it's the bruise syndrome, right? The bruise syndrome, like things got to get a little bit worse before they start to get better. And unfortunately, maybe that's just where we are at this point in the cycle. Unfortunately, but really quick, I do want to shout out the chat. People are mashing the like button. In case you don't join the afternoon show, we've got a saying. We don't smash the like button. We mash the like button like a potato. Mash it like a potato, baby. Take a sip of your coffee and let's get it on, baby. Mike, the modern Canadian, jumping up to the stage real quick. I want to make sure to do a little bit of house cleaning before. So if you guys know, if you're watching the live stream and you're like, oh shit, there's a Twitter space going on too that I can join the conversation, you may do that. JChain's X is my X account. Hop in, raise your hand, come to stage, be a participant. Let's go. That's the whole point of this show, is by the community for the community. Love to have it back. Love to be hanging out with you guys. Let's go. Mash the like button. Mike, modern Canadian, what's up, brother?
What's good, man? Another Friday. We made it. We're here. Our bags are down, but we're optimistic because it's just a waiting game at this point. And I don't know if you guys watched the FOMC meeting, but they essentially just stopped QE. Essentially, like they reduced it to nothing, basically. So it's just that waiting game. We're playing that waiting game. It's gonna go up, and I think this end of this year is gonna be like absolutely. We're gonna be like you said before. We're gonna be laughing at these prices.
Yeah. So are you of the camp of like a Q3, beginning of H2? You know how we roll here at the Breakfast Club, the W3BC. Do you think that we probably need to get through the summer and then, get into Q3, and from there is where, we've got maybe a little bit clearer idea of where the administration is taking things? And I don't want to say regulation is here, but maybe in the form of, to some degree, so that now banks can start to offer crypto to retail clients. You know what I mean?
I think that is the huge thing that's coming out this year. And to be honest, like if you look at the 2017 bull cycle, the US was actually raising rates and they were quantitative tightening. It was China that was actually adding global liquidity to the market. And something very similar might happen with China this year, because they need to stimulate so badly because their real estate market, everything's like screwed up in China. So the US doesn't really need, the US, like kind of like Jerome Powell said, they can be patient. There's no need to rush. There will be liquidity added. But in regards to, God, what was the other thing that you asked?
Just, do we think you like around the Q3 time?
Oh yeah,
H2, the beginning of H2, is that when we think we'll start to see the really big push for the retail, bringing retail in? And we, like, at this point, we understand that I think everything that we could do as like an industry is done to facilitate the retail bringing in people. Now it's up to the institutions, and I say that take that with a grain of salt, right? That we've done everything we can, but what we need is for crypto to be as easy as normal money is. And the fact that if you could, and the whole point was, if you could just go to, like, I could just go to Bank of America and say, hey, in my personal savings account, can you take 40% of it and throw it into Bitcoin? Like, the moment you can do that, then it gives just about everybody in our country the exposure. Because I would say, I don't know what the percentage is of people who are banked here in our country, because obviously some people aren't. However, I will tell you, when I was living in Chicago, and this is no fucking joke, when I was living in Chicago, I went into a Chase Bank once, and a clear homeless dude, no shit, pulled out 30K in cash. So, people all have banks. So, it gives, again, that, little side note and tangent aside, but the whole idea of banks providing that exposure to everybody overnight, the moment that kind of goes into effect, that is really what's going to spur the retail adoption of this phase. That will get us. Institutions can only go as far, but once that offering extends into retail, because I think no one's going to come back in. If you've gotten toasted before, you're not going to come back in until there's some kind of safeguard in place.
I think, like you said, like it is definitely going to bring retail in, but I think the level of education for the average retail investor is still very low.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think the same thing with like offering it to banks. Like, just, this is the way I pictured it. I was imagining, say your local financial advisor at whatever firm, okay? They're not even educated about this, or they can't because they don't have access to it. It's got to have that green light before some companies can even, justify to their HR departments or regulatory departments or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that the bank that you're already using is going to offer stable coins, I don't think they're going to offer Bitcoin and stuff like that right off the bat. I think it's going to be stable coins. So it'll just on-ramp people to stable coins in that sense, and then people will start being able to play with that. Because you can stake it, you can earn with it, they're going to start learning how to swap and move it to other things, and get into that Bitcoin. It just gets them in the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think your local bank will allow your local hedge fund, your local financial advisor to get in. I think that's where it is. Your local business, Walmarts and Amazons, now that they can do it, now that their banks will offer it, they can just easily start to get in now. And I think that's where I think we're going to be led by the industry more so than retail this cycle. I think retail will come in, but it's going to be like, the best advertisement for retail would be price. Price go up, retail will come in. Right. So when Bitcoin hits new all-time highs again, and we're in that euphoria stage, that's when the retail system is like, oh shit, didn't it just crash to like 80-something thousand or 70,000? Now it's over 100-something thousand. I gotta get in.
Yeah. You know what, Mike, you actually, I want to tell you that is probably one of the best ideas that I've heard, as far as like, if we want to fast track the ability for banks to offer crypto to retail clients on a consumer level, the stable coin way is absolutely the fastest way to do that, because you mitigate a lot of the risk, right? Because you take the volatility out of play. So the bank, you know, if they one-to-one buy stablecoin to enough to meet the demand of their clients, they don't have to worry about any volatility if the market goes down, right? Obviously, you love the volatility if it goes up, but if, you know, if it goes down, that's going to safeguard you. So in order to fast track shit, man, I think, you know, in this whole example that I've been giving now for, you know, as we start to think about banks offering crypto to clients, I love the idea of it being, you know, let's kick this thing off with just stable coins so that we got access. But now, is this like when you get, you know, your Robinhood originally, where you've got access to stable coins, but you can't take them off, you can't take them out of the bank system for now, right? You can just start to load up. Or do you think you'll be able to have an external, like you have a wallet address so that you can transfer stable in, out, you know, to meet your level of activity, whether you want DeFi or other centralized entities? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I think there'll be partnerships. I think like the first thing would be like, you know, you'll be able to connect your bank to Robinhood, or like similar to how you have an e-transfer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be able to just like e-transfer to Robinhood or whatever. I know each bank has their own trading platform. So like I'll give an example for Canada here. You know, Scotiabank has their Scotia Trade, BMO has their investor line, and you can go and use your bank account and go invest in stocks and whatnot. And it's going to be the same idea. I think they'll like, maybe the bank itself doesn't offer, but their investing platform will, and whatever their third party people that they connect with. So maybe you're just buying Bitcoin on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Maybe it's offered there.
That would be, you know, think of it like cash. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. And now it's like basically Cash App. Cash App could probably do things a little differently, because I've used Cash App for a while as kind of my on-off ramp, right? It's very easy. Right now it's limited to only Bitcoin, and it has been for, you know, this whole time. But, you know, the whole idea of, you know, you've got with Cash App, you know, you've got the ability to go peer-to-peer. You've got the ability to have a full-fledged bank account. You have an account with a routing number. You can get a Visa check card with it, you know, and you have access to crypto. Now, the only thing that would make that, I think, any better, if we're going to start, you know, moving this forward, like the conversation that we're having, is, hey, let's, instead of just Bitcoin, let's offer some stable coin. What do we got here? Come say hi. This is one of my favorite parts of the day, when my little homie comes in and brings me some chocolate chips. You say hi to everybody and say smash the like. Say mash it. Yay button. Let's go. Happy Friday. Are you having pizza today?
Oh, pizza dough.
Oh, we're gonna have. Are you making pizza dough?
No, mommy.
Mommy's making. All right. Well, thank you for the chocolate chips. Say ciao for now.
Ciao now.
I love you. All right. There's our chocolate chip moment. Love you.
Do you want more?
Yeah.
But we don't have more.
This is it for the chocolate chips?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take a couple more then. One more. All right, go get mommy. I love you. All right. There you go. It's a moment brought by chocolate chips. We're back. Sorry to take a chocolate chip break. All right, great segue. Can I hear everybody? Can you guys, Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. All right, sorry about that. Okay, let's shift gears. Guys, if you want to come up and talk about the week in review, I want to get into that now, because we've got a couple things to talk about. The XRP custody wallet, that's the story that we talked about on Monday. And I think we could just maybe talk about XRP in general too, because the wallet, I think, has broader implications to the whole situation with XRP. Not only is the SEC case done, they just announced something with, oh my God, what was the thing? And I think it had gotten pulled. It was a big announcement that they were working with Swift, right? Did you guys see that? Let me see.
No, I didn't. Honestly, I'm super out of the loop when it comes to XRP, so maybe you guys can teach me a couple things.
Let's see. So there was, they said, so Watcher Guru had posted this. It said, just in, Swift nearing agreement with Ripple to use XRP for cross-border payments with billions of XRP secured in escrow as liquidity reserves. And then I think that shortly after that, they said it was their X account was hacked. Something that I believe goes with along with that is that, you know, they have a bunch of their other accounts attached to the X account. So the X account posted that, and then it went to like Facebook and to some other things. So I believe like that rumor spread. So I don't know if that was something that posted early and they're using the whole hack excuse or whatever. But all right, so in the news, it was Ripple filed a trademark. Here, let me actually, I can share my screen with this. So swap that and go here. All right, so Ripple files trademark application for a custody service wallet, a downloadable software for custody of cryptocurrency is what the trademark application wording includes. Ripple Custody is the name of it. So I am looking forward to, personally, I am an XRP Army guy. I got a big bag of it. I am looking forward to, because I love when you know, the specific chain and coin launches their wallet. I love utilizing it to see how it's different or you know, what you've got, or specific wallets to specific, like the Hashpack wallet for HBAR. You know, I happen to like that. I feel like sometimes it's a little buggy. Sometimes, you know, you get issues with reloading balances or whatever. You know, it is what it is. There's the Para Algo wallet for Algo. There's the VeChain wallet. It is called VWorld. That one actually, so at some point, I got to figure out how I want to do all this. But like with the VWorld wallet, I want to get my wife in there, and I want her to start doing, you know, for both of us to start doing, because like, look, I drink out of a coffee mug every single day that's renewable. So I should be making tokens and rewards on that. And there's plenty of things throughout that ecosystem that do that. So anyway, that was just a side note. But utilizing the specific wallets for the specific projects and how that works is something I do enjoy checking out. So I will. I'm a fan. I'm gonna go for it. But what about you guys? Anybody else? Hey, and if you guys do want to come up and chat with us, like, you know, that's the whole point. And so Mike said he's not like a big XRP guy. We know he's a big Bitcoin maxi. He does like some altcoins. But if you are XRP and you want to talk about the wallet, you want to talk about the case, you want to talk about anything, the Watcher Guru tweet, whatever, come on up. That's the point. It doesn't have to just be me, but it can be. We know also that yesterday afternoon, let me see if I can open that up. There's my guy, 6 a.m. Dougie Fresh. Let's see, show full history, because this was something that we were looking at yesterday afternoon on the show. It was about XRP. Golly, man. It was, what was the name of that site? They launched Bitnomio. That's what it was. Bitnomio. They launched the XRP futures. That's what I was looking for. It was the XRP US dollar Myra futures. Here it is. If you are watching the live stream, you can see yesterday that launched. Boom. So we'll see these numbers start to fill in as time goes on. Some of these charts, open interest. Now the chart load, it said no data yesterday. So, you know, hopefully we'll start to see some of that stuff fill in as time goes on. So that was also some big XRP news. So Doug, are you hot on the XRP trail?
I mean, I do love a bit of XRP. I just don't like trading it. I'm really bad at trading XRP. I think the problem is XRP was my first ever investment, and I think I've just always been way too bullish on it, and I traded it all the way down. So yeah, not good at trading it, but I love XRP.
Yeah. No, I don't. I may get into a trade here or there if the conditions are right on XRP, but I'm a spot holder. Same with you. I've got a nice bag of it. I've also got that bet with AJ. Listen, now if you look at, and I understand, you know, there are chartists, right? And there are people who will take that pragmatic approach and they will solely rely on the charts. And I respect that. And that is A-okay with me. But I feel like if there is any time to think about how narrative could start to change the overall landscape, I believe it is right now. And so looking beyond the charts, and again, let's shift into a narrative mindset and where this is going and how this is going to be the largest transfer of wealth. This is the bull run of all bull run. All the things, all the amazing stories that we're hearing. Forget about price action for now. but $1,000 bet with AJ that XRP is going to be $10 by Christmas. We're a quarter of the way there right now, and things haven't even kicked off yet, bruh.
I still think the bet should have been 1,000 XRP, not $1,000.
That would have been. See, now you're thinking that would have been a better move. But at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer in it. I do. I just think the narrative is too strong. I think everything that they're doing, if let's say this whole Swift thing is true, it's just something that got leaked and was told to be deleted because maybe the deal's not done yet or whatever, right? Maybe there is some validity to it. Like, that is massive. And I understand people are like, well, what the fuck does that have to do with the XRP? Well, I feel like the more integration that Ripple brings throughout the world and into the ecosystem and all that, right? Like the big idea is the RLUSD stablecoin, and with that has a burn mechanism of the XRP token. So if that is something that were to just go astronomically because of one of these massive deals, like now you've got XRP as a deflationary token, like that's not something that most people were thinking of. I don't believe. That's like some new news, right? You hit them with that new news.
I must admit, whenever there is news on XRP, whether it's deleted afterwards or not, like it's one of those things where it takes a lot of money for XRP to move. So big news like this moves it, say 10%. That's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. So yeah, it might be they might get hacked or something, but I mean it's one of them things, isn't it? Where there's a lot of money on the line, so they can take a risk of a hack, can't they?
I don't know. We'll see though. I'm glad that this week we got the cases done with the SEC. We still have to, get all the confirmation of like the big fines, because all of the appeal, all of that stuff is done. But the whole fact was that the judge originally had imposed a fine. And so that doesn't just go away because the case goes away. I believe like that still hangs in the balance. So we'll always be up to date on what is going on with XRP, guys. Don't you worry. Don't you fret, my little lambs. All right. Quick look to the chat really quick, and then we're going to scoot on over to Tuesday's topic about Trump's stacking up the Bitcoin. But really quick in the chat, what is up, fam? Hope you are doing well, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, do all the stuff that you've got to do. Repost the videos, repost the space, come chat on the stage. Quit being weenies if you're down there just listening and normally you speak on stages. Get the fuck up here. It is A-OK. That's the point, because we got a few things to talk about. Trump stacking Bitcoin. Wednesday was the EOS rebrand. I want to hear from you guys what you think about a rebrand this stage in the game. And then yesterday's massive story that came out it was a comment in the chat that we looked at, and apparently there's some validity to it. So we got to dive in more on this. That is Crypto.com wants to unburn 70% of the already burned. Unburn 70% of the Crow token. That don't make no sense to me. So all right, we got it's like every time like say some things, man, I feel like I just go fishing, right? We got Doug a little bit ago. We just went fishing, picked up Hash. I love it. What's up, Hash, brother? How are you, man? All right. Maybe he was coming through the space-time continuum and didn't hear. Hash.
Yeah, sorry. It took a little while to come through as well for some reason.
Oh, really? All right.
Happy Pizza Friday, by the way.
I can't wait. So we are going to do, just a reminder, guys, it is Friday. So we will do pizza orders towards the tail end of the show. So if you want to get a pizza order in, make sure you come up to the stage. And if it's specifically for that, if you want to remain silent until pizza time, that is your prerogative. But if you want pizza, you're going to have to come up and order it. So that's the rules. That is the rules. All right. So let's move it on over to the Trump news for this week. Trump said that they are going to be stacking as much Bitcoin as possible. Oh, Hash is back. He rugged. All right, we're bringing you back up, buddy. Let's see. Let's pull up the story. Trump stack Bitcoin. Oop. Oop, 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 oop. Hash, you there now?
That was a bop. Yes. Thanks, Elon, finally letting me on stage.
We're glad to have you, brother. Welcome back, welcome up. How was your week?
It was good. It was good. I feel like I'm excited for the news because I was less tapped into the crypto news this week than usual. So it was good to hear about this XRP. I saw the cases were done, which is exciting. I don't know about this Trump stacking these Bitcoins, though. So tell me about it.
Well, we also, so, you know, if you heard anything from the Digital Asset Summit yesterday, you know, he did reiterate the point that we are going to be getting the Bitcoin reserve. We're going to be doing that. Now, let me take a look here because I will show you exactly what we were talking about on, this was Tuesday. Well, Trump stacking Bitcoin. What was that about? We know obviously we've got the whole idea. Didn't he said something where, man, now I'm having a hard time finding this article from literally just a couple days ago. I had it pulled up, but all right, let's just use the whole idea of the strategic reserve, kind of reiterating. Sitting president at a crypto conference yesterday to the Digital Asset Summit in New York, talking about, you know, like we're moving forward. We are going to be the Bitcoin capital, the crypto superpower of the world. What are your thoughts on that? Mike, if you want to go first, or Hash, go for it because you unmuted, and then we'll swing it down to Mike.
Oh, I can't. I respect that hand, Mike.
You Canadians are just way too kind.
Thank you. Honestly, I think I think they're, from my understanding, from when I read when they did the strategic Bitcoin reserve, was that they're not going to be buying any crypto. They're just switching the already seized Bitcoin over to to the reserve. And if they are going to get any more Bitcoin, it's going to be basically at no cost to the U.S. Taxpayer. I was watching an Anthony Pompliano video, which was talking with Cynthia Lummis, and she was kind of reiterating that fact. So I don't think they're going to go out and buy a bunch of Bitcoin. So I don't want to get people to get their hopes up. I think they will eventually, but they're trying to find ways to do it where it doesn't cost any taxpayer money right now. And unfortunately, that's probably just going to be through more seizures, in the future.
I mean, I feel like,
Yes, they'll carry on seizing Bitcoin and adding that to the reserve, though, right? That was kind of my take on it.
So Cynthia Lummis was saying that.
Go ahead, guys. Just go ahead.
Sorry, so Cynthia Lummis was basically saying that right now what they're trying to do is trying to figure out how much Bitcoin they actually have, like kind of get like an audit of it. And she's like, we're trying to figure out how much we have. We're trying to figure out how much the Biden administration was selling near the end there. And she said, it should be easy to figure all this out, but how government works, it can be a little bit of a pain to figure out anything simple. So I think they're just trying to get an idea of how much is actually there and then figure out if they want to buy more or not add more and whatnot.
That's interesting because I thought the whole idea was that they had to, like, within the next 5 years, we have to have 1 million Bitcoin. And I believe, like, the last figure we knew was 219,000, but that doesn't take into effect with any, sales or any new acquisitions, for any reason that, potentially we just haven't heard about. So I don't know what the number is, but I thought strategically we had to have 1 million in our reserve over the next 5 years. That was the plan. So they're going to have to buy some somewhere. Like, we make investments all the time. Like, I think that it would make sense to ditch in something that we've invested in so many years. Like, say the fucking post office, like get rid of the post office and just put all that money into Bitcoin or crypto. That makes more sense to me. The post office sucks. They lose everything. I
think right now their priority is getting that stable coin thing passed. And that's
the Genius Bill, right? Or the Genius Act or whatever it's called.
I'm not sure what it's called. I just know they're trying to push that stablecoin legislation. And even so, Cynthia Lummis talked about that too. And then also Trump reiterated that, I believe, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? He had a little speech, and he was also saying getting stablecoins getting going there. So I think that's going to be the first thing to come. And then afterwards, we'll be focusing mostly on Bitcoin.
There you go. I like it. All right. Well, anything else that we got on this whole Tuesday Trump talk? Anybody else got anything they want to add? Yeah.
America, fuck yeah. Pardon my language, but it is the song. I do think that America is number one. America number one. They want the U.S. dollar to continue being the reserve currency of the world. I think they're doing that by realizing that crypto should maybe be part of their balance sheet. I also, like Mike said, it was a little bit confusing in the language that they use at first. You know, are they going to be acquiring more Bitcoins? I think the answer is yes. I don't know how they do that at a net neutral to the taxpayer unless they're just seizing assets from criminals, which maybe that's their play. But I do think that the underlying motivation behind it is that we've talked about this a lot. Like, bring crypto to America. They want to be the leader in crypto. Do I think that will end up happening? Yes, for at least a little bit. But we're gonna have to see what other countries that are big into this do. Like, I mean, look at Korea, North Korea, right? Are they like the 5th largest holder of Bitcoin because of Lazarus? So we'll see. I think it's bullish for crypto, but bearish for decentralization maxis, right? Like, if you got into this game to get the government out of your wallet, well, this is probably not your favorite topic to talk about.
Do you know how much North Korea has? Because they don't list them. I think it's unofficial, right? Or maybe we don't even acknowledge them on any of these lists or whatever. But according to like this list on treasuries dot something, I mean, Bitbo, I don't know. It says, so we've got here, I will. Oh my God. Why does shit fucking pop up on websites? It's so fucking annoying. Jesus. Get fucked. Oh, your stupid advertising. There we go. Countries holding Bitcoin right here shows that the United States is 207,000. You got China at 194,000. The UK at number 3, 61,000. Ukraine number 4 at 46,000. And the Kingdom of Bhutan, 13,000, number 5. So I'm interested to see where, on that list is actually Korea, North Korea, because then you got El Salvador, Finland, and then some other countries that don't show any, it's like they make fun of Germany here. They put them on the list, but they give them a 0 because they sold others like a bunch of paper-handed weenies. How do you say sausage in German? Like a Frankfurter or a kielbasa or whatever? That's Polish.
Bratwurst, is that the one you're thinking?
The bratwurst?
Yeah, is that the German one you're thinking?
Sure. I don't actually even know. But like a bunch of stinky bratwursts, the Germans, they sold all their biddies, baby. They sold them early. They paper-handed that shit. That's funny. It's funny to me.
I was going to say there's nothing new there then, but yeah, we probably shouldn't say that about the Germans.
Listen, they have a really great sense of humor. I've never heard them take anything out of context. North Korea becomes the 3rd largest Bitcoin holding government after 1.6 billion Bybit hack. This is from a day ago on some website called The Insider. Don't know how great it is. But yeah, Lazarus Group, basically 400,000 units. Oh my gosh, units of Ethereum from Bybit. Boosting North Korea's total holdings to 13,562 Bitcoin, valued at approximately $1.14 billion.
All right. So what? Let me just.
They have a totally different outlook.
What was that? What was that total number?
Outlook on users and acquisition.
13,562 Bitcoins.
Well, that puts him at number 5. And it pops Bhutan because 13,029 is what Bhutan shows. Ukraine's got 46,000. So, and UK, my guy Dougie Doug across the pond coming in at number 3, bringing up with the bronze medal. The UK with 61,000.
America 198,000. Good for you. Look at you go.
Doesn't Michael Saylor have more than Korea? Doesn't he have like 200,000 Bitcoins or something like that?
I believe that is correct. What is the number? Is it Strategy or Saylor himself, do you think?
Strategy. I don't think Saylor owns 200,000 on his own.
Yeah, about 500,000, 499,096.
This guy's gonna go start buying countries when we top out in this market.
You can't sell the Bitcoin though.
No, he'll just borrow
Is
against
he
it.
going to become Dr. Doom?
I'm really, you know,
Just like go
I
buy a
love this whole
country,
idea of people starting to question
become
is
the
Saylor
ruler?
good for Bitcoin? Because I don't believe so. I don't think strategy owning that much Bitcoin is good. Like you said, like potential for so much to go wrong when you got that much concentrated.
I just think he's that kid from high school that collects all the Pokemon cards and keeps all the shinies and then trades out and gets rid of all the normal ones, you know?
Do you think he keeps the plastic lining on his couch?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Of course he does.
Yeah, so he can, you know, not get them messy when he plays hip to be square, when he brings someone home, if you know what I mean.
What is he married? Like, what's the deal with Saylor? Does he have a family, or is Bitcoin like? Is he married to Bitcoin?
From what I heard, I don't believe he doesn't have children and he doesn't have a wife.
Okay, well, that means like so. He's a fucking male cat lady, and Bitcoin is his cats. Speaking of, I got on likes. I got ratioed by Charles Hoskins yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, but a lot of people like cats, J-Chains.
I'm allergic to them. So here's the deal is that they try to kill me. And so fuck them because those are cats and I don't like cats. But I mean, you got to think like that picture is definitely and listen, I do respect Charles, and this was more of a joke. I don't even own any Cardano in the first place right now. No, somewhere I do. And a bunch of Cardano NFTs. And it's all just a joke, but like I am allergic to cats, but to me like that picture was definitely giving off fucking Vitalik vibes for sure. But I just made a joke. I said, I'm out. I just sold the rest of my Cardano. Again, I didn't have any in the first place, but I was not expecting him to respond back. And he definitely screwed up his response. I'm going to show this so you guys can see.
Didn't he say that was perfect?
He said perfect, but with all ease. There was not purr like a kitty purr. Like that was the perfect
is he
opportunity.
Foreign? Is he foreign?
I don't think so.
Because like maybe English people, Dougie, I don't know, do you spell purr with an E? Because like I know growing up in North America, we make the like bang bang sound with guns, but in other countries they go, it's weird. I don't know. It's a cultural thing.
No, so perfect as in, oh, that was a perfect shot sort of thing. That's perfect PER. You know, so we spell it the same.
Yeah, it should have been.
If you're going to say perfect as in the cat purring, it's PU. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I thought it was a missed opportunity, but at the end of the day, like it was good. It was cool to see him respond on that. That made was that last night? Yeah, it made my evening when I saw that happen. I started chuckling. And then obviously the comments come in from the peanut gallery, and that's always good. But all right, that takes us through Tuesday. EOS Rebrand. We got that news on Wednesday. What do you guys think about that?
I don't understand why blockchains rebrand. I really it just brings like more consumer confusion. Like I look at like Pol. This is like the third rebrand, and weren't they Matic then or Polygon and then Matic and now Pol?
Yeah.
Like why do you need to change your name? What does that exactly do for the blockchain? I don't understand what the point of it is. I really don't.
So I think like in certain circumstances it makes sense, right? Like when you had Phantom move to Sonic, whether or not you agree that was the right name for them to choose. And you know what sucks is that they were around before the wallet, but the wallet took market share, right? So they had no choice. They had to pivot because they really had no choice because their name was consumed by someone else, even if it was spelled different. It doesn't matter. So that I could understand, but EOS, it had one of the biggest ICOs back in the ICO days, but it has just fucking struggled for years. Like it's like the pivots are what is going to keep this thing alive. It's what's going to keep the people who are underwater interested and be like, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to make it happen for us. But ultimately, I think this stage in the game, like you do this kind of stuff in the depths of a bear market. You do not do this right before launch time, in my opinion. But Hash, what do you think, my brother?
Sonic is the best thing ever. Best video game, best name, best rebrand. Thumbs up. Taking the poll, terrible rebrand. Terrible. Unless they would have steered into that, then it would have been funny, I guess. But I don't think that being funny is a great rebrand concept. But I agree. I think Sonic was the right thing for FTM or Phantom. Not just because of the wallet, but FTM was always kind of a weird one to me. I agree that Sonic was a weird choice, but I mean, Sonic, come on, Sonic. How can we go wrong? Now, I don't know if they can partner with Sega, but that would be amazing. But changing your token name to Pole when you're already in my hidden section of OpenSea, like, I think it's over for Matic, to be honest.
I mean, what
if you're going to partner,
go ahead.
If you're going to partner with Sega, you're going to have to go through Nintendo first. But the way I look at it from like a marketing perspective, like, why do customers go to a certain brand? Because they get brand familiarity. But when you continuously change the brand, then it just leads to consumer confusion. So like people like to be on a brand that's consistent, that's been there for a long time. And I think when you keep changing the name, unless it's like a hard fork and they have no choice but to change it because they're literally forking the blockchain, then I can understand, because you literally can't call it the same thing. You can't use the same ticker. Then I get it. But I don't know. I think it just leads to confusion. And I also think that's why Pole hasn't done very well, because if you look at the chart, it looks brand new. So it's like, okay, this chart looks like shit. And then you look at like, the brand itself, and it's changed 3 times. Like, okay, what the fuck is wrong with this thing that they changed their name 3 times?
Yeah, it's tough, man. We know that a lot of projects do the rebrand, and it throws people off. It throws the scent off. It makes people wonder, this is, I think about like the Frank and the DeGods thing, right? To go back and forth between blockchains and how that all worked out. And I know whatever, right? Whatever your opinion on this whole thing is, but I think that shows that either something wasn't thought out right. It wasn't, man, like, I just don't get it. I'm not about, go for it, Hash.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Frank ruined Polygon. I think we need to blame Frank for every single thing that goes wrong in crypto right now. He is the new villain. I think I saw Kevin or someone from his core team say all NFT projects should just shut down.
Yeah, did you see that? I was like, man,
wow. What a take.
Right.
But yeah, I forgot that Frank was the nail in the Polygon coffin when he basically pulled the just kidding, not actually gonna hang out on your chain. And that was fucking it for Polygon. That was their last relevant moment. And I have a Polygon NFT because Frank went to that chain, and I never would have had one otherwise. But I have not looked at it since. So I forgot that we also got to put that on Frank. Frank ruined everything.
Just, hey, when in doubt, blame Frank. That's probably the safest bet you got.
Darga must fucking love that.
I might have to tweet that. Mike, what you got, man?
Oh, I was just gonna add to that. I was just like, I almost feel like changing the name is kind of like a little trick to like fool new investors, like then something totally new, and they get all hyped about something new. But then, as you research and look at it, it's like, oh, this is like was this before, and then it didn't do that well. But I feel like it's a little like an easy trick for people to do to make it feel like it's a new crypto, but it's not.
Yeah. There is some tomfoolery to say about all this stuff. I mean, like, to go from EOS network to Volta Banking, like, I don't know. Anyway, well, if you are in EOS and you are underwater, actually, let's take a look at really quick. We should let's take a look at EOS and see what has happened.
Oh, can you tell stupid people like me what EOS is, please?
What do you mean?
I don't know what you're referring to.
So the token EOS. So it is. Here, I'll pull it up. We'll go through it. So here's the deal. This token came out during the ICO craze, right? And it was one of the largest ICOs around at the time. Let's see, have they updated their, so you can still get to the EOS network account. So it's Web3 at the speed of experience, powering seamless experiences and real-time connections. EOS is the base for creators who move with purpose, leveraging resilience, speed, and a scale to shape the future. To be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck that means. That was just a lot of words. Like, this website is just words. That's why this project hasn't done anything, because their stuff doesn't say anything. It's just hype and words. Web3 at the speed of experience? If someone can explain that to me, that'd be great.
I think this market is maturing to a point where you actually have to have a product that does something and actually have people using it. Like, I think most people in the market are starting to, people that have been around for at least one cycle are starting to figure out that, like, you have to have actual real use case and real utility for people to, invest their money in, because there's so much shit out there. There's so much dilution that it actually has to be, used and good.
Yeah, I would say, like, here's the deal. Like, does this rebrand to Volta Banking, is this going to save the day for EOS? It doesn't look like it. Look, this chart's been fucking dead since 2022. It has kind of started its death spiral. You saw some good volatility, man. It had some good ups and some good downs. It played the crypto game early on very well, but since 2022, it's just been dying out. You have a little bit of, pops here and there, whatever. They don't mean anything compared to what it was. And rebranding now is doing exactly what Mike says. Is basically what you're doing is erasing your history, because you have no future currently. And that's what you're seeing happen right now. So for me, like, the EOS rebrand, we'll see what happens with crypto banking or whatever they end up doing. But I don't hold any EOS, and I don't plan to. And I don't plan to shift over to Volta or whatever ends up being there. So anybody got anything else on this EOS debacle? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Was it successful with what AGIX and that done with their merger in the end? That was a very controversial one.
I don't even think it's done. I mean, I feel like the ticker is still FET. It didn't switch over to AIGX yet. The merger, like, they've combined forces to some extent, but I think also the narrative died out. Like, that was really hype driven. The merger, like the commingling happened, but then everything fell off. Like, the narrative fell off or whatever ended up happening. And so now you've still got FET as the ticker. It's not AIGX yet. And I don't know what the plan is. I know that there was supposed to be movement on this whole issue like months ago, and I haven't heard anything. I don't know if you guys have. Nope.
It was all a hype train then.
Well, like, the AI narrative is like, it does make sense. Like, but I do feel like it was a hype driven thing. Like, think about gaming. Think about, we've got DPIN, RWAs, AI. There's all these different, like, buzzwords that they either have their time in the light and they fade, or they continue to grow, or they've got an upcoming session. I think RWAs for sure have the upcoming session. The tokenization of all basically yields, all of the stuff that we've got that are happening across the board with the tokenization of real world assets. That stuff is going to be exploding. I believe also something that's kind of gone unnoticed, and we've talked about a little bit of this, and I know that I have been teasing this now for a week, and I've got to get it done. I just have to find the time. But I'm putting together a video about the VeChain sustainability. That thing, the sustainability ecosystem is going to be massive as well. And I don't think people understand how big that is going to be. So something we got to explore and take a look at. And I know, with VeChain specifically, because they've got the whole VBetter DAO and what they're doing on, with all those dApps and apps and all that stuff. But what other blockchains? I know Algo is carbon neutral, but what other blockchains, what other projects? I need to find some more examples, because I don't want it just to be about VeChain, but kind of, really it is about VeChain, but we have to highlight some of this other, sustainability stuff. So definitely got to be doing some more research on there. So I'm not quite ready for that, but it will happen soon. All right. We did look at, I wanted to look at EOS on CoinMarketCap really quick, and then we got to move on to our next story. Thursday. That one is perplexing to me. All right, so EOS coming in at number 75. The all-time chart again looks like trash. There is 1.5 billion circulating out of 2.1, so you've got most of them there, about 74%. All right. EOS. We'll see what happens with this whole Volta thing, but I'm out, baby. I am out. All right. Our next story, and this was from yesterday's show on Thursday. Let me just bring you guys back up here. And every time I move it, it moves. So the Thursday show, we were talking about a bunch of things, but then this comment came in, and I had to explore it and come to find out that we've got to talk about this. Crypto.com wants to unburn 70% of a previously burned Crow token. Talk to me. Someone talk to me about this that knows about it.
Okay, I got this one. If I understand correctly, the community was voting no, and then some affiliated wallet with crypto.com at the last minute put in all their votes for yes. So there was some controversy because the community was like, it's kind of bullshit. We didn't want you to unburn these tokens, but you are using your power as like, you have the nodes, and so you got the crow to change what the community wants. And they pushed it through, and they unburned the burn tokens. I don't think people were particularly impressed. I don't think that the answer that crypto.com was particularly impressive. It was, sorry guys, we're in charge. It reminded me a lot of when Thread Guy was running for ApeCoin DAO, and last minute all those votes came in against him from the big holders to keep him from winning. So again, back to this decentralized versus some people holding all the power, especially when it's the institution that's fucking making the decision for the community. It's not a great look, and I have been a not champion of Crow, but at least sympathizer with Crow, and I was unhappy to see how they handled this.
Agreed. And I was actually, I had said earlier in the show that like Cash App is that's my preferred on-off right now. But who's to say that there was never the plan? And because originally, like, I wanted to do the card and all that stuff, and I held a CRO when it was Monaco, right? Like, but way back in the day. So I was old school with what they were doing, and I was honestly getting ready to, because I wanted to figure out a better way for crypto in my solution in the future. So I honestly was getting ready to make the switch and go back to crypto.com. And then I hear this yesterday, and that to me is like, nah, like that ship has sailed. Like I would never participate in an ecosystem that actively rolled back a 70% burn of their token ecosystem. Like that to me goes against everything. Like, no, thank you. Like, as far if crypto.com goes away at this point, I'm not going to cry about it. And not that I would have ever cried about it, but I know the people in LA will, because now they got to burn down another arena. Or at least rename it. They don't have to burn it down. But Mike, Modern Canadian, what's up, brother?
Dude, part of the fundamentals of why people, the core aspects of why people got into crypto was, what happens on a blockchain happens on a blockchain. And I remind you of, or people of, Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. It's, you shouldn't be rolling back blockchains. I'm sorry if, people got hacked or whatever. Like, code is law. I'm with Charles Hoskinson on that ideal where code is law. Whatever fucking happens. You shouldn't be. The whole idea of burning token supply is to manage the supply. But if you can just say, I'm going to roll it back now, like, now where's the line? Yeah. Right? If you're just going to do that now you can do it again. It's kind of like the trucker. The mentality is like the trucker rally. We never thought they could. We knew they could like seize our bank accounts, but they did it. And I was like, fuck, we don't like you. We're going to seize your bank accounts. If the U.S. doesn't like the way the way you do things, we're going to seize your assets and take all your financial assets and freeze your assets that you have here. Like, so this is not why people get into crypto. I totally will. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to sell all my Crow. I'm not going to be participating in something like that, because the most scammy thing you can do is fuck with the supply of something.
Right. Right, especially because when you make a move like that, if you were to actually burn 70% of your supply, or you make it a huge deflationary, you do something like that, that would bring someone in, and then you absolutely torch their trust the moment you do something like that. And trust is a hard thing to come by in this ecosystem as it is, but that to me, like, that messes with your money, and that goes again, like what you were saying, what I said, against the absolute ethos of all of this. Like, if they can unburn, they can freeze, they can do all that stuff. And we know crypto.com obviously they are moving over towards a kind of a bank idea. I think if you were to look at their website, we did this months ago, and I think they're, if I'm not mistaken, if you look at the fine print, if you look at, you know, the bottom of the pages, all that stuff, it kind of shows that they are shifting their focus into more of a bank mindset. And so with that, it all goes back. Remember, centralization is one of those things that you understand, you know that it's the necessary evil, and as you progress through your crypto and your blockchain journey, you know, you do assume some more decentralization ideals and aspects. But in order to bring people in, obviously the centralization is where we need to really facilitate the adoption. But when you look at that kind of stuff, man, the rollbacks, the unburns, the ability to freeze and all that stuff, like you said, man, like if there was ever an idea that I was going back into Crow, I'm fucking out. OUT out, baby.
When you get a stock, right? For example, I buy an equity. I'm gonna buy, I don't know, let's just Tesla, for example. I'm just gonna pull a name out of my hat. So you invest in a stock in Tesla. What is your risk? Your risk is the earnings that they make. You know, they have to perform to do well. And then all the risk is they can do stock buybacks. They can split the stock so you have more supply, and that's your risk in investing. And now, like, I don't see Crow in my mind as a viable, good investment when they can just fuck with the supply, because it's no different than investing in a shit meme coin.
That is factual facts, my brother. Factual facts. Well, I think we're all in general consensus on that. Does anybody got anything else to say about the ability to burn tokens, whether it's crypto.com or anything else, or crypto ideals? Because it is very important that we get to our Friday news. Extremely important. And if anybody is down in the audience and you wish to participate in the Friday segment, I want you to know right now, you are more than welcome to raise your hand. Come on up here. So make sure that you smash the like button if you are watching the live stream. If you are listening to the show, you can go down to the bottom right, hit the little, we called it a purple pill at one point, but it's something else. We call it the multiplier too, and tag some friends and let them know about the show. We're getting ready to get out of here, but our important Friday thing is, hey, Mamma Mia, Papa Pia, a time to order your pizzeria. Hash, my friend, what would you like today? And please don't tell me mustard pizza.
My friend, I'm going to have a nice mustard-based pizza with crypto rollbacks on top.
Just roll it back.
Thank you so much.
Roll it back. Take that and roll it back. Crypto.com is to make it whack. All right. Hash, you got the rollback pizza. Mike, Modern Canadian, my guy, what kind of pizza do you want?
Well, I think today we're gonna go the straight up meat lovers. We're gonna get bacon, pepperoni, fucking ham, any fucking meat I can put on there, because fuck my cholesterol.
There you go. Tell that doctor to kiss our asses. We're going big today, baby. All right, 6 a.m. Dougie Fresh, my guy. What about you, sir? What kind of pizza?
I'm going for your daughter's favorite, the rainbow pizza with double pepperoni and double cheese, please.
All right, I will play that for her, and she will get excited because that everything she wants. Rainbow bagels. I got to get like a toilet. The when you flush the toilet, the little flapper thing broke, so I got to get a new one. So I said, "You want to go to the hardware store with me later?" She goes, "Yeah, let's get a rainbow one." I said, "Okay, baby, we'll look." I don't think they'll make that, but you got it. Rainbow pizza coming your way, Doug.
Good choice.
And then I see we got Anonymous up here. Anonymous Crypto Predictions. What's up, family? Would you like some pizza? Oh, I got too afraid to talk about pizza. I get it. We will we'll keep your order anonymous. Don't you worry. All right. For me, I believe we are going to be hand making pizza tonight. We're going to make it at home as we've been doing because that is fun to do. So I believe my wife is making the dough, so it will rest throughout the day. And then pepperoni. She found these pepperonis that are like amazingly thick, and so we do that. I dice them up, julienne, and we do it Windsor style because there is something to be said about Windsor style pizza. You julienne that pepperoni, man, you get a better flavor. Let her spread. That oil gets on every single bite, every crevice of the cheese, man. That's the way to do it. So that's it. All right, guys. That is it for our time here today. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you smash the like button. If you are watching the stream on the way out of here, tag some friends. Let them know that we have a great show here. Right now, we're just doing Friday mornings for Web3 Breakfast, but very soon, in just a few weeks, we're going to bring it back 5 days a week. So we will be at 9 a.m. and then 4 p.m. With the show. No 4 p.m. today because it is Friday and I got to eat pizza in the afternoon. I'd be hangry. So do something today to make you better. Now, this is the last day of the week. If you got to finish any of your goals up, this is the time to do it. And then get ready to plan some new ones on Monday. We will be back then. Have a good one. Ciao for now, mi amigos.